Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm so excited to have you here for part 20 of our revenue cycle management training course. Today we're diving into a super common but honestly kind of frustrating roadblock in medical billing, handling additional information requests. We're going to master the notorious CO16 and PR16 denial codes. To crack these, you can't just be an everyday AR associate. You really need to put on your RCM detective hat. You're out there searching for missing clues, tracking down correspondence, and piecing the whole puzzle together so that cash can actually start flowing again.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the agenda for this explainer. We're covering the definition and meaning of information-lacking denials, the common types of information requested, our step-by-step resolution workflow and decision tree, internal escalation and post-call actions, a standard AR caller note template, and we'll wrap up with a quick knowledge check.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Definition and Meaning of Information-Lacking Denials.
So an information-lacking denial basically means a claim hit the payer system, but their examiners hit a literal roadblock. They just can't move forward. These are claims where the payer needs more information, or maybe some specific documentation from either the healthcare provider or the patient to actually process and adjudicate the claim. The main takeaway here is that adjudication just can't happen until they get this missing puzzle piece. The claim just sits there in limbo, aging out on your AR report, and honestly, costing the practice money every single day it goes unresolved.
Now, check out how these codes perfectly highlight exactly who is responsible for the missing data. If you get a CO16, that CO stands for contractual obligation. That means the missing information has to come from the provider. It's on us. On the flip side, if you see a PR16, that PR stands for patient responsibility. The payer needs something directly from the patient. Maybe it's accident details or a student status letter before they'll pay out. Knowing the difference right off the bat instantly dictates your very first move.
Moving right along to Section 2, Common Types of Information Requested.
So when a payer is looking to the healthcare provider for answers, what are they usually after? As an AR associate, you've got to be ready to track this stuff down. It generally falls into a few major buckets. First up, medical records or specific operative reports to prove medical necessity. Second, a primary explanation of benefits or EOB for secondary claims where they need to see what the first insurance already covered. And finally, administrative paperwork like W-9 forms or credentialing documents. I mean, if they don't have the provider's tax info, there's no way they can cut a check.
Next up is Section 3, Step-by-Step Resolution Workflow and Decision Tree.
This four-step process right here is your standard operating procedure for navigating these calls like an absolute pro. Step 1, identify the exact party. Are we looking at a CO16 or a PR16? Step 2, verify the payer's correspondence history. Who exactly did they ask and when did they ask them? Step 3, check the receipt status. Do we already send this stuff and did they get it? And finally, Step 4, take action. If they have the documents now, push them for reprocessing. If they don't, figure out how to get those documents over to them securely and fast.
This slide really hits the nail on the head when it comes to the golden rule of RCM. You absolutely must verify the payer's correspondence history. Check out this real-world caller note. The detective on this account didn't just say, "Hey, did you send a letter?" No, they asked, "How many?" and grabbed the exact dates. The payer rep confirmed they'd already sent the maximum of 3 letters to the patient and couldn't send another. If the AR associate hadn't pushed for that detail, they might have just asked for another letter and assumed everything was fine, leaving the claim to eventually die to a timely filing denial. You really have to dig for those details.
Now, if you find out the payer hasn't received the documents yet, your job on that call definitely isn't over. You need to gather some critical submission intel before you hang up. You've got to get the appeal or submission time limits, like how many days do we actually have left to send this? You need the exact mailing address and the direct fax number. And, this is huge, you need the attention to details. Sending medical records to a massive generic payer fax number is basically like throwing a paper airplane into a black hole. You absolutely need a specific department or a reference number so it gets attached to your exact claim.
Let's jump into Section 4, Internal Escalation and Post-Call Actions.
This routing matrix is your cheat sheet for exactly where an account needs to go based on what the payer rep tells you. Think of yourself as the traffic director here. If the payer says the procedural codes and diagnosis codes don't match up, you route that straight to the coding review team. If they need detailed medical records or operative reports, that goes to the clinical records department so they can securely handle the protected health information. And if you hit a total dead end, like the payer maxed out their letters to the patient with 0 response, you route that over to client escalation so the healthcare provider's front office can reach out to the patient directly.
All right, Section 5, Standard AR Caller Note Template.
Using a strictly formatted caller node template like this makes sure your investigation is completely foolproof for whoever touches the account next. Look at how tight and chronological this is. Date of service, billed amount, submitted date. Then, who you called, the number, and the rep's name. Why was it denied and when? What's the correspondence history? And finally, what definitive action did you take backed up by your claim and call reference numbers? Let me tell you, if your notes look like this, your supervisors are going to love you, and the claim gets paid way faster because there is literally zero ambiguity about what's been done.
And that brings us to Section 6, Knowledge Check. Let's see what you remember.
Question number 1. Which claim adjustment reason code indicates that additional information is needed specifically from the healthcare provider? Is it A, PR16, B, CO96, or C, CO16? Think back to our definitions from earlier in the explainer.
Question number 2. Before requesting a payer to send a new letter to a patient from missing info, what is the absolutely most critical step? A. Requesting a supervisor. B. Verifying how many letters were already sent. Or C. Submitting an appeal. Remember that golden rule we just talked about?
And finally, question number 3. If a payer requests specific operative reports, which internal team should this account typically be escalated to? A. Coding review. B. Clinical records. Or C. Client escalation. Think back to that internal routing matrix.
Okay, let's look at the answers. For number 1, it's C, CO16. That contractual obligation means it's on the provider. For number 2, it's B. You must always verify how many letters have already gone out before asking for another one. And for number 3, it's B. Operative reports go right over to the clinical records team. Awesome job if you got all 3. So I'll leave you with this to think about. The next time you open an account and see a CO16 denial staring back at you, what will be the very first question you ask the payer? Keep your processes black and white, always document your steps, and definitely share and subscribe for free courses on Decode Healthcare with Harshal. Keep up the amazing work, detectives, and I'll catch you in the next one.